Okay, so today we're going to go over the basic differences between optimization and marketing or advertising. Before we get into that though, your coaches are going to take you through and help you to successfully choose a product that you can use to sell on eBay and as well that we can use to build and develop a website around. We're going to pick a product based off of two main categories. We want to look into demand and competition, and we want to look into profit margins. So we want to look at something that's not going to be, overly competitive, but it's going to have a high enough demand. As well as we also want to make sure that we can find something that we can make a profit off of, that we can yield some returns off of. We as coaches like to use, and most students like to use a broker to be able to do something like that. So in using a broker, it's very successful because you can compare prices across a broad spectrum of categories. You can look at multitudes of companies to see what they offer. Some may offer free shipping. Some may offer better prices. So it's a great way to actually go out and to be able to find lots of products, lots of prices, compare lots of things, so that when we do decide what product we're going to use and we start developing the website, we're making sure that we have a solid foundation based around the product that we're actually going to get into. Now, to move on, once we've chosen a product, once we've gotten into what product we're going to sell, we've got to decide on how we're going to advertise our business, how we're going to set ourselves apart from other businesses that are out in that area, because you're always going to have competition. Every category, unless you invent something, there's going to be other people that are competing within those categories. So let's say, for instance, let's type in tablets. Lots of people selling tablets. To be exact, there's lots of people. There's 600 million results either selling or talking about different tablets on the internet. So if you were to sell tablets, you'd be one of these 598 million results that are popping up. So we probably don't want to sell tablets, but I use this as a good example because there's lots of people competing for them. So you'll notice here, one of the ways that we can reach the first page of Google is by paying for a sponsored advertisement. You can go down to the bottom as well, and you can see that there's other paid advertisements down there. So if you look up at the top, you'll see paid advertisements, whether it's Target, Verizon Wireless, Walmart, AT&T. They're companies that are paying for ads. Those are called pay-per-clicks, and you can buy pay-per-clicks on Google or Yahoo or Bing. Any major search engine is going to sell advertisements. That's how they generate their income. So when you run a pay-per-click or an advertisement, you're paying for a certain spot or a certain position, and it's based off of how much you're willing to spend. So AT&T has the first spot here. So what that tells us is that they're willing to pay more per click. So every time somebody clicks on the website, they're willing to pay more than the other people that are further down the line. And the other websites that are even further down here at the bottom, they're willing to pay less. So in that half of a second that Google calculates all of these results, what they do is they look at what your budget is, how much you're willing to spend per each click, and then they rank you. So AT&T may be willing to spend X number of dollars, where Walmart was only willing to spend, B number of dollars. So it may be $2, or it may be $1, or it may be $10 and $1. You know what I mean? So it's based off of a hierarchy. They go in and they select who's willing to pay more for each advertisement, and then they rank you within those places. So pay-per-clicks can add up. If you're paying, and especially in an area like this that's very competitive, you can have lots of people coming through and actually clicking on your website. You can generate a lot of traffic, and clicks generate and turn into dollar figures. Spending more money for clicks, paying for advertisements, it becomes very expensive. So you can choose to go out and to advertise your business by paying for clicks, or you can choose to be ranked by Google by doing optimization. Optimization's results are long lasting. So if AT&T decided that they no longer wanted to pay for these advertisements up at the top, they would instantly lose this first position. Well, if you scroll down, you don't see AT&T at the very top. They were paying just for advertisements, but they haven't been ranked in optimization. Let me take you to one of our students' websites, and I'll kind of show you and take you through what he chose to do and what's worked for him. So let's pretend for a minute we wanted to find a leather golf bag. So we could type in leather golf bags on Google. You can follow along with me if you'd like. We'll go back and we'll see there's nearly 12 million results, 11.8 million results, and it took Google up, half of a second to generate those results. So we'll go and we'll look at budget. So budget was willing to pay the most for an advertisement here. Okay, so if I were to click on this, it's going to charge Budget Golf a certain amount of money, and they'll be billed every time somebody clicks on that page. Well, our student's website, if you scroll down, is the leathergolfbags.com. So out of 11.8 million people, he's popping up number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the top. So the reason why he's popping up number 6 out of nearly 12 million results is because his website has been optimized, built, established, and upkept in the practices that Google or Yahoo or Bing do to make sure that you can have a higher ranking. So they set a certain amount of rules in order for your website to be ranked higher on the charts of Google. And a lot of that has to do with meta tags or directory submissions or viral data or connections to social sites, how much feed and traffic and how up to date your website is. All of those things play into your ranking. So it's very important to make sure that you have a solid foundation built in optimization so that when you upkeep on it, you're able to upkeep on it and do the things that that Google's required so that you're practicing and doing all of the things that Google is looking for. So 2 ways to reach the first page of Google. You can pay for an advertisement or you can have optimization done. And optimization is something that to reach the first page, it may take you 3 months, or it may end up taking you, 2 years to reach the first page of Google. It depends on how competitive the area is, and how, persistent you are at upkeeping on the optimization and making sure that you have all of the things done that Google requires, and having a foundation built is even more important. So talking about a foundation, if we click over here, I've searched the term HTML code to show you. So when you look at a website, if we were to go in and if we were going to take a look at, a website online, when you see all of the pictures, when you see everything that's generated, it's all generated because the code is written in such a way that tells certain characters on the page what color they're going to be, what placement they're going to have, all of those things. And you'll notice there's various different lines that go down. So this little example here says that there's 23 lines on the page. So when you have a website that's built, I talked about making sure that you have somebody go in and develop the right things for optimization. So you would have a developer go through and make sure that the optimization is built out properly so that you're making sure that you're meeting all of the criteria that Google will be looking for. So whether it's your headers, your meta tags, your titles, your descriptions, they make sure that everything is put together in the correct order and that it's set up properly. And the more efficiently that it is put together, the faster Google's bots are able to read it. And the faster that Google's bots are able to read it, the more clean your website is and the higher the ranking that Google is going to give it. So that's just a basic, very brief skimming of what optimization does. They're going to also connect you to various different sites, whether it's blogs or other directory submissions or other social sites like Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest. It's making sure that you're connected to all of those places so that you can have a higher ranking. So what I want to do is I want to show you something that, I'm going to take you to another website here. So if we go up to the address bar now, not the search engine, and we're going to type in www.backcountryledlights.com. Okay? So this is another example of somebody who worked with a broker. They used a broker to actually find these LED light bars. And then they successfully had a website built and established around the principles of optimization. So they have the optimization established and built. Then they were able to upkeep on those, and now they're building upon those principles so that their website can rank higher on Google, and it can rank higher in the positioning or the pages on Google. So if you look up here at the top, you'll notice like logos, headers, layout on the website, all of his HTML code was built and put together properly so that his titles, his descriptions, everything on the web page is meeting the search criteria of Google, so that Google can read it more efficiently, so that they can find it, so that the business is tagged, it's in a certain location, that it can be found more easily. One of the other things that's very important too is other things like Facebook. They build out all of your connections to, when you have somebody, a developer, go through and do it, they build out all of the connections to Facebook, to Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram. They connect your Google Plus accounts. They're building those accounts and those connections for you to make sure that the website is going to be connected to all of these places, so that you have a higher presence, so that people are able to come onto your website and they're able to tweet about it, or they're able to send an email to their friends, or they're able to connect via these social sites. And all of that plays into the success and the ranking of your website. So I want to show you here up at the top. If you click on the curved LED light bars, I'm just going to select one. You'll notice down there at the bottom, he has connections to various different, there's Twitter, there's Google+, there's email, there's Pinterest, and there's Facebook. If I were signed into Facebook, I could click the like button and it would automatically like my Facebook page and send a notification out on my timeline that I have liked his Facebook page, and it would be seen by all of my friends who follow my timeline. So not only are the connections built out on the bottom of the page, but they're built out under every single item. So more people have the chance to click on them, or to pin them to their Pinterest page, or to send them to a friend, so that they can discuss these things. And so all of these things play into optimization. Somebody can click on this, it can like their Facebook page, and then if they have several hundred friends, it's going to send a notification out to all of their friends that he's liked backcountry LED lights. The last example that I want to show you is somebody who successfully has built a web page and actually ended up selling his web page because of his traffic, his ranking, all of the things that were successful for him. So if we go back to Google, we can type in opera glasses. And you might have seen one of the other webinars on it, but we're going to go in here, we're going to type it in. So we type in opera glasses and there's 1.7 million results, okay? We see the paid advertisements, okay? And then if you scroll down, we count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. You're going to see opera glasses sale and free shipping. And the website is www.fineoperaglasses.com. This is Davin's website. And Davin no longer owns the website. He actually ended up selling the business to somebody else. But a lot of what played into him selling the business and being able to get the dollar value that he did was based off of his positioning. So having a higher position on Google, competing with another 1.7 million people, he's reached the page of Google where he's popping up number 5. So that played into, when he sold the business, that played into the value of his business. Because if he were Jet.com, Jet.com is the first link, the very first advertisement that pops up, but Jet.com is only popping up because they were willing to pay for that ad. If you scroll down the page, you don't see Jet.com popping up in the very first few listings because their optimization is not there. So for a potential buyer, he looks at this and he says, okay, Jet.com, is on the first page of Google, but he's there because he's continually paying for it. Optimization is one of those things that if you pay to have it built out, you pay to have the things that are done appropriately at the very beginning, you can successfully upkeep on it and learn to upkeep on it without having to pay somebody to continually do those things. So optimization is one of those things that can pay its dividends because it can become a very effective way for you to get your name out and to reach more people by how you're going to be ranked. And it effectively, you can do it so that you can reach Google or Bing or Yahoo, any of the major search engines that are out there. If you upkeep on your optimization and you do the things that you're supposed to, you can reach all of those search engines without having to pay for an advertisement on every single one of them. So that's just a basic overview of optimization. So just to recap, marketing is where you're paying for an advertisement. You'd pay to run a TV commercial, or you'd pay for an advertisement on Google or Bing, or you could run a flyer. Whereas optimization is something that if you have it built, if you choose to have somebody build out and establish the proper resources for you, then you can upkeep on it so that you can increase your ranking. So if you scroll down to the very bottom, out of those 11 million results, it's going to continue to go on page after page after page after page to show you results. So whatever page, if you're on page 1 or if you're on page 700, it depends on what your ranking or your positioning is going to be. So that is just a basic overview of the differences between the two of them. And as we kind of continue to go on into your coaching sessions, we'll learn how to go in here and how to successfully upkeep on optimization or how to successfully run marketing campaigns so that you can eventually continue to learn how to grow your business effectively.